talk about in this video. The first is I want to start incorporating a word or sentence of the day in Korean in my videos, because that way I will have to look for a word or sentence to tell you guys and it will help me learn. Well, I say it will help me learn, it might help me learn. So there's that. And that being said, 안녕하세요. 제 이름은 Summer예요. And that was that for today. The second thing that I want to talk about is my group chat on Twitter. They found out about my videos and they were very excited about them. So, hi, hello. I'm watching you. And that brings us on to the third and actual thing that we're doing in this video, which is where I'm going to talk about some Asian books that I want to read. All of these but one are by Asian authors, so I don't quite know if the one that's not by an Asian author counts as an Asian book. It follows a Japanese character at some point. So look, we'll just get to it when we get to it. But I wanted to talk about some books by Asian authors that I want to read this year. Well, maybe this year, we don't know. And these are the books. You can't see what they are, but that's the fun of it. This is hurting my hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. First, I will start off with the books that are by Asian authors, which I have 5 of. I'm going to start out with the book that I've owned the longest, because I've had this since I started reading and buying my own books, and for some reason I've just never gotten around to reading it. So I'm going to get around to reading it this year because this is on my list of stuff that I have to read this year, or else I can't read anymore. It's actually a trilogy. It is by an Indian author and follows an Indian character. It's middle grade, and that is the Ash Mystery trilogy. I only have the first 2 books by Salwat Chadha. The first book is Ash Mystery and the Savage Fortress. It follows a boy called Ash Mystery who is forced to go to India for the summer by his archaeologist uncle. He really hates India, so he doesn't want to go there. But his summer holidays in India takes a turn when he finds himself caught in a battle, a very desperate battle against humans and demons, and he finds out he has to prevent the unleashing of a monster that could destroy the world, or something like that. Okay, it doesn't say it can destroy the world, but I'm just guessing. It just says it's been locked away for ages. But yeah, there's that. I think it will be fun. I haven't read a quest book in a while, I don't think. But I will update you guys if I ever read them in a wrap-up. And that is all I have to say for these 2 books. If you've read them, then please do tell me if they're good or what your thoughts are on them. Moving on. The next book is Monkey, Journey to the West. And this is a retelling of the original Chinese story by David Kurdian. Now, I can't remember where David Kurdian is from, but I did Google it and he's from somewhere in Asia, but it wasn't China that he was from. This was a book my mum gave me just because she knows I like Korean pop groups. So long as I don't have to buy stuff, we're good with it. I've watched 2 adaptations of, I guess, the monkey story. Well, one was a sort of inspired by Korean drama called A Korean Odyssey, and that featured the monkey as a human and kind of the gods and the other characters in this story as humans. I thought that was very fun to watch. Loved all the characters and watching them interact, so I thought that was good. And I also watched some really low budget movies, which I guess are more closely tied to the plot of the original stories. They were interesting, but the monkey dude was just, I'm pretty sure, a man in a monkey suit. It was a thing that I experienced. So yeah, I'm looking forward to reading these. It follows, as we've established, Monkey, who is very mischievous, and I think he ends up on a journey with this, Buddhist pilgrim, it says on the back, who is in search of sacred scriptures. I think it just follows their journey and whatever goes down in that journey. So that sounds cool. And yeah, moving on. The next book is Chinese. It's a Chinese translation, so this is me giving Chinese translations another chance because my first experience with Jin Yong's A Hero Born translation was just, I didn't like it. I've concluded that I really didn't like it. Like, it could have been a fun story, but the writing just made me want to die inside. This is called The Three Body Problem. This is science fiction. I don't know much about it besides what is on the back. I saw this in Waterstones and I bought it last year and it's just been lying around since then. What the back has told me is that in 1967, this person witnesses the Red Guards beat her father to death during China's Cultural Revolution. And it says that this singular event will shape not only the rest of her life, but also the future of mankind. So there's that. And then we have in present day a dude called Wang Mao. I'm gonna go Google it. That doesn't sound right. Okay, no, I was right. It's just meow. Anyway, so there's this dude called Wang Miao, and he is a nanotech engineer, and he's approached by the Beijing police to help investigate a series of inexplicable suicides. His investigation will lead him to this online virtual reality video game. That's what I'm picturing it as, because that's what it sounds like on the back. This world is ruled over by these three suns. Suns in like the lights in the sky, not dudes. And this is the three body problem. It's the key to everything. The key to the deaths, the key to an conspiracy, and the key to a conspiracy that spans light years and to the extinction level threat humanity now faces. So that's a book I have. I don't normally read science fiction though, so we'll see how this goes. I think it sounds fun. I think the mystery sounds interesting. The book smells nice. Moving on. The next book I have is another Indian book. It's called The God of Small Things, and it is by Arundhati Roy. Now, I searched a while on this book and they haven't included a summary. So whoever marketed this, I have some questions. So I'm gonna go Google the summary and I'll be back. This was recommended to me by my mum's friend. She saw it in a charity shop and she was like, oh, you'd like this or something, which doesn't actually mean anything, but yeah, that's a thing. So I'll be right back. I don't know how to summarize. I'm gonna read the summary to you because my brain is too small to read it and come up with a shorter one. So here we are. The year is 1969. In the state of Kerala, on the southernmost tip of India, a sky blue plymouth with chrome tail fins is stranded on the highway amid a Marxist workers' demonstration. Inside the car sit two egg twins. Egg twins? Two egg twins? Is that like when you were born in what? Like, aren't all twins born with? I'm just gonna stop. I don't know what a two egg twin is. Anyway, inside the car sit two egg twins, Rahel and Estapan. Right, yeah, we'll go with Estapan. And so begins their tale. Armed only with the invincible innocence of children, they fashion a childhood for themselves in the shade of the wreck that is their family. When their English cousins Sophie Moll and her mother Margaret Kochama arrive on a Christmas visit, Estepan and Rahel learn that things can change in a day. That things can twist into new, ugly shapes, even cease forever beside their river grey-green, with fish in it, with the sky and trees in it, and at night the broken yellow moon in it. And I think it focuses heavily on family dynamics or something. There's a lot that I didn't read to you that lists like the family members and who they are and stuff. I'm not prepared to edit myself stumbling through all of that. We're moving on to the next book, which is the last book by an Asian author that I have to talk to you about today. I found this book in a charity shop. It's by a Malaysian author that is called Tan Twan Eng. We don't know if I said that right, but we'll hope. It's called The Garden of Evening Mists. This follows a girl called Yun Ling who, along with her sister, was once imprisoned in a Japanese camp. Yun Ling survived and her sister didn't, and now Yun Ling helps prosecute Japanese war criminals, and she harbours this very deep hatred for the Chinese, naturally. What else happens? she hears about this dude called Nakamura Aritomo, and he is Japanese, but he is not in Japan. He's been exiled from Japan, and I'm assuming he's a gardener of some kind. Yun Ling ends up travelling to see him despite her distrust of Japanese people and her hatred of Japanese people. And she asks him to build this memorial garden for her dead sister, and Aritomo is like, no, but I will take you on as my apprentice, and then you can build yourself a garden for your sister. And so that is what happens. But, and as you can see, it was a big but. As Yun Ling begins working in this garden of evening mists with Aritomo, there's another war raging over the hills and far away, where Teletubbies come to play. The Malayan emergency is entering its darkest days. Communist guerrillas are apparently murdering planters, miners and their families, seeking to take over the country by any means, while the Malayan nationalists are fighting for independence from centuries of British colonial rule. But who is Aritomo? And how did he come to be exiled from his homeland, Japan? And is Yun Ling's survival of the Japanese camp somehow linked to Aritomo and the Garden of Evening Mists? I don't know, this one sounds the most exciting to me, so it's one of the ones I do want to read pretty soon. I was thinking I'd read it for the Asian readathon that Cindy hosts, so yes. I don't know, it just sounds interesting and exciting, and there's a bit of a mystery, and I like it. It intrigues me. It's kind of squashed because I found it in a charity shop, as I said, so the book like bends like this, like that. The last book I have is not by an Asian author, but I think one of the main characters is Japanese because there's two timelines in this book. This is called The Woman in the White Kimono by Anna Johns. I don't know why or when I picked this book up, but I have it now. It's by a Slovakian author, and I think primarily the main character in this is Slovakian too. The name looked like it, but I don't know for sure. That's just an assumption, you can ignore what I said. This book, as I said, it follows two timelines. One timeline is in Japan, 1957, and it follows this 17-year-old called Naoko. And she has this prearranged marriage that's gonna, like make sure her family isn't disgraced and, you know, keep their social standing all good and nice, because it's a traditional Japanese community that she lives in. However, she's fallen in love with this like American sailor dude, and she ends up with his baby, let pregnant. And so she's cast out and disgraced, forced to make unimaginable choices with consequences that will ripple across generations. And then we have present day in America with this person called Tori, and she's caring for her dying father, and she finds a letter that reveals this shocking revelation. And so she sets out to learn the truth, and it leads her to this remote seaside Japanese village where she must confront demons of the past and all that. It says it was inspired by true stories, so I guess that'll be interesting to read. But yeah, that is that. So yeah, those are the books that I want to read this year, but probably won't end up reading this year. I have finished the video now. I really want to read some of them soon, and what else do we have to say? Do we have anything else to say? So that is the end of the video. I can't remember how to say goodbye in Korean. There's one if you're leaving and one if you're staying. 안녕히 계세요. 안녕히 가세요. I'm leaving now, and bye-bye. I'm reading